Welcome to the Office Latte podcast, where we go beyond the boardroom to explore new conversations on life and career. I'm Erin Kennedy, CEO of Professional Resume Services, and wife, mother, sister, daughter, aunt, and friend. Now, let's dive in. What are you drinking today, Summer? What are you drinking today?
My classic, and it's sweating, but my classic iced coffee from Starbucks with caramel and oat milk.
So you made a run this morning.
Yes, I did. I was up early getting some work done, and I live close to a Starbucks, so it was pretty convenient, luckily.
We're so lucky. I mean, I don't live far from one, but we did get one in our town probably
Yeah.
10 years ago, and it was monumental.
It was revolutionary.
It was. For our little town, it was like, what? I still remember when we got the Home Depot, but that's a whole other story. But anyways, so I am drinking my
What are you
usual
drinking?
for this week. I love this mug.
I love that mug. It's so cute. It
Things are
says
coming.
good things are coming, like
Good
this
things are coming.
podcast.
Yes. Woo-hoo. I am drinking Pete's dark roast house blend black.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah, I do like a little bit of sugar sometimes, but
And you said that's warm, like that's warm hot coffee?
Oh yeah, it's boiling hot coffee.
Oh, in this like what 90, 85 degree weather we're having?
I know, in our heat, it's very hot this week here in Michigan. It's like what going to be 96 today, which is last week I wore a sweater all week, so you never really know with Michigan.
It was hard to get ready this week. I will definitely say I had no idea what to wear because I was like, I think I'm just going to be a sweat bog every day because it's so hot.
And speaking of what to wear, so I stood in front of my closet for about a week, just thinking about our next guest and thinking, okay, just figure out what you're going to wear. It's going to be fine. She's not going to judge you. But I am really excited about our next guest. I mean, her, she's spent the last 15 years in, styling other people. And
she styled Selena Gomez.
Yes, she styled Selena Gomez, Sarah Hyland, many other celebrities. She's worked on major advertising campaigns and she's styled big editorials for major publications she's been featured in Elle and In Style and Teen Vogue and People Magazine, my favorite. She also has helped many successful women in leadership roles and entrepreneurs kind of elevate their personal brand image and help guide them in creating a strong personal style that helps support their success and their brand. I mean, she believes having a strong presence at work begins in your closet.
I'm so excited. I feel like I need this help. I feel like all my friends need this help. Everyone I know in corporate, like girls are always constantly saying like, I need a stylist for the corporate world. Because, you see them, like you said, in People Magazine, and it's like, I can't wear that to work. So what do I wear?
Right.
I know. So I'm really excited.
I have a list of questions. I really do. I mean, it stresses me out on like what to wear to Easter. So I have a long list of questions. So you may see me looking down reading because I've been so excited to talk to her and just kind of picking her brain for things like this, different occasions, what to wear in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all kinds of things. So without further ado, let's welcome Basia Richards. Basia, I'm so excited to meet you and I'm glad that you're here. I've got so many questions for you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have met you on LinkedIn. And yes, I have a lot of questions for you. But first, I wanted to get started with your background. I mean, what made you decide to get into this and how did you become so big that you became a celebrity stylist? I mean, that's amazing to me. And then you kind of, made a little pivot and now are doing corporate styling. So take me back to the very beginning of how you got into this.
Well, that might be a surprise, but I'm actually, I have a master's degree in violin performance. So I did not start with styling per se as a career. I actually started as a violinist when I moved to Los Angeles back from Poland. And I could not get a seat at orchestra.
Oh.
That was just, you get a seat at orchestra when basically somebody, it's very sad story, but it's true. Somebody retires or somebody dies, because when you get a seat, you get it for life. So, and because for years I was amazing at shopping, I loved it so much. I shopped for everyone, starting in high school for all my girlfriends, universities. I was dressing all my girls for the concerts and for their dates. And so one of my friend was performing at one of the big awards here in Los Angeles, and he's like, I need to wear something, can you help me shop? I'm like, of course. So we went shopping, and he came out from a store. He's like, oh my gosh, you should do it for a living. This was amazing. I just, like, I have an outfit, I don't have to worry about it. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And what happened was my husband put me in touch with another friend who was working at People's Magazine at that time.
Oh.
And then they put me in touch with an agency that represents stylists and makeup artists and hairstylists. And they asked me if I want to intern as stylist. And then at that time, mind you, that was in 2007. I had no idea that stylists, like as a career, as a job, actually existed.
Right.
Because like, yes, there were editors at magazines, but like as a freelance stylist, like, who is this person? What this person does? I'm like thinking, like, somebody can pay me to shop. That's kind of feel like amazing as a career choice.
Right.
And then
I bet. Yeah.
That's how it started. So I was interning with a stylist. I moved from one stylist to another, and essentially because I was living in Los Angeles is a huge entertainment industry. And at that time, I was really much doing every job under the roof. Like you could imagine everything from editorial and some kind of weird jobs when I was dressing women in some kind of yoga pants for like fitness magazines, just everything. And then that time, that red carpet is starting to, slowly happening, and those stylists starting to, be almost as their own celebrity within their own industry, because there was big names who were dressing Madonna and Michael Jackson at that time, and all those big names, and
I bet.
and more celebrities starting to come to stylists asking them for help. So at that time, I got in, my agent helped me to get a new client, which was Disney Channel, working with a Disney, and that's how I met Selena Gomez. She was 15 years old, her show just started. No one knew who the hell this girl was. She was the cutest little thing. And then that's how I started working with her. And then, 10 years later, she was this big star. And then everything happened in front of my eyes. It was just pretty incredible. So that's how everything started. And in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I, no red carpet, nothing is going on. And at that time, I already had a small child. I was kind of burned out from all the, another dress for another event, another dress for another red carpet. And I was just like, how many times am I going to do the red carpet thing? I want something meaningful. I want to feel that what I do actually have a bigger impact. As opposed to just dressing, and then you open a magazine in touch who wore better. Like, I just don't want to be the part of it. And then publicists telling me, put the dress that somebody else wore, because then we're going to get this article who wore better, and my client's going to get more, more visibility. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of it. I want to do something more impactful, something that I can actually change somebody's life. And I'm like, with clothes, how is that possible? At that time, somebody reached out to me and just like, I just got a new job. I'm like desperate. I'm crying. I don't know what to do. I have no clothes. I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed. I need to feel amazing. And I'm so good at what I do, but I just don't feel good out, representing myself. So I worked with her online through Zoom. And I'm like, that's not even possible. Who's going to ever do it? And we did it. And then And then she's like, Basia, oh my gosh, that was the most amazing thing. You have to work with corporate women. There's so many corporate women who need this. And that's how it started.
Wow.
So that was my pivot moment.
Wow. And you know, I was listening to you and listening about your friend, and I think I know I've been there like my whole life. I've not been great at choosing clothes or choosing something, I don't know, just trendy. And then, I've just never been great at clothes. I think I'm getting better with age to just try to pick more classic pieces, but I see this as something that a lot of my friends and a lot of my colleagues go through, that we talk about as well, is, I mean, even going to conference, there's a lot of different conferences in my industry. I mean, I stressed about that for 2 months. What do I wear? It's nighttime stuff, day stuff, fun stuff, and the weather. And so I have a lot of questions for you.
Oh, I'm ready.
So I wanted to start with, I mean, something that I think is important, and you'll probably just know, but I need help with. What would you say are the like 3 to 5 main pieces every business woman, we'll talk about women right now, should have?
You see, I'm gonna disappoint you because I don't like this question.
Okay.
And I tell you why. Because this is where every woman that I talk to, they want to have that answer, but I cannot give you the answer without really understanding you as a person, meaning what is your aesthetics? What is your job? What are you dressing for? What's in your closet? Because I can give you the 5, 10 must-have pieces. That's what, I see this everywhere and everybody falls for it. Oh, I'm going to get
that's true. That's true.
one jacket, one dress, one this skirt. My wardrobe suddenly is going to be like the most amazing ever. But if I tell you get a good blazer, I'm like, but I have like 3 blazers. I was thinking more as a dress. Okay, get a dress. But what dress? Is it a chic dress? Is it a wrap dress? Is it a more corporate dress that you can, because you work maybe in a bank, or like, or maybe a dress that's more casual because you're in technology. It also varies. So I always say, I want to know who you are. Who is Erin as a person? What type of aesthetics, when you go look at the clothes, what is that you're being drawn to? Is it, do you like florals? Do you like just the classic pieces? Do you have a little bit of edge? Maybe you would love to have a leather jacket, maybe pencil skirt, and you can wear something more feminine on top. Who you are, and I want to look at you as a shape, tell you exactly which silhouette to get. I'm to just tell you, let's say, open up your neckline. You have to have a chic dress, going to follow your curves. Don't wear anything crew. It's going to make you shorter. And then
that's true.
What are those? I'm sorry.
No. I was like, I never thought about that. And I end up wearing like stuff that's, I mean, I have some summer stuff. Oh yeah. I for like the last 2 weeks, I've been like, what am I going to wear when I talk with Basia? I ended up getting something because I just like the arms, but I think it's pretty. But
you see, I'm looking at this. This is more like a boho inspired already.
Yeah. I just, plus it's like heat wave here.
It is
in Michigan. So I was like, oh, okay, I've got to go with climate. And yeah, this is interesting. But I love little tips like that, like not wearing something like this because it cuts you off. It makes you look shorter. For me, I'm short-waisted, so I always try to go with longer things. Right. And that's smart. I need something open.
Yes.
Longer legs, shorter waist. So that's always been
high-waisted. So everything is going to be, if you have a shorter torso, then yeah, you can wear a lot of like wrap tops that you can have that piece of fabrics that's on top of the pants, so it's not, you don't tuck it in because you want to elongate your torso.
Gives you length. Yeah.
So it gives you a little bit of length. Exactly.
Yeah. That's interesting. I just on a yes and no thing, a friend of mine who always looks amazing. I was showing her, my son graduated high school, and I was showing her picture from when my other son graduated, and she was like, why would you wear those capris? You should not wear capris. Because I said, I was thinking about wearing capris. She's like, no. So is it true that capris are out? And also she said they make your legs look cut off, and which I never thought about, but it makes sense. What do you think
Yes.
about capris? Yeah. No.
Hate it. Hate it.
Oh,
But I tell you why. So this is the interesting subject with those type of silhouettes that are actually, those are the silhouettes that are going to be trending. This is going to be a trend, but this is going to be a trend for a season, 2 seasons. It's going to go away.
yeah.
So this was like what, 15 years ago, right? So when you think about fashion and style, there's going to be 2 parts of this. There's going to be something that is just aesthetically changing and it stays with us. So something that was very in 10, 15 years ago. So capris, we had that.
Still there.
We had a lot of
15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, crop tops and everything. It was more silhouette was tighter. You had a lower waist jeans, skinny jeans. And this whole thing changed after pandemic because women stayed home. Everybody stayed home. No one wants to wear anything tight. Everybody wearing their sweatpants, sweatshirts, and hoodies in front of Zoom. And suddenly you have to go back to work. So brands and designers had to kind of come up with this idea of professional wear that's going to be still comfortable. So a lot of silhouettes you see now, it's a little bit more baggier, and you have pleated pants, and you have culottes, and you have more blousey tops. So there's not too many tighter silhouettes. So that's the one part. The capri that you're talking about, it is a Zara saw it on runway, and now Mango, Zara, H&M, everybody is going to come up with those trending pieces that are just not flattering on anyone.
Yeah. I had no idea. Like I said, I've never been as stylish as my friend. And she was like, oh no, you cannot have those in your closet or wear them ever again. So I said, well, now I know. And she also said that your jewelry should not match. So she was like, don't wear like a turquoise necklace and turquoise earrings and turquoise.
You have a very good friend.
I know. So I lean on her for a lot of that stuff. And yeah, so that was interesting. Didn't know that. So what about rules for certain ages? Summer, who, she and I were talking a lot about talking with you, and she was saying when in her first job, she was kind of dressing older because that was this, they were older workers. And so she was sort of, feeling like she needed to dress a little bit. So people in their 30s, I mean, I guess it just depends on where you're working, but are there rules for 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? I mean, people are working into their 60s and 70s now. So I know.
I hate rules. And then I don't like when it's because fashion and style is such an individual thing. And there are certain rules that we want to know the rules. Maybe I will say this. We want to know the rules so we can break the rules in a way that is going to work for us specifically. And then when you talk about like what 30-year-old should wear and what 60-year-old should wear, this is such a, what I don't like when you walk, let's say to Nordstrom, right? This is a really good example.
Okay.
And you go into a women's floor and you have like the lingerie section, then you have a teenage section, then you have like a modern section, and then like in a corner somewhere in a back, you have a section for like 55 plus that no one goes in. Everything looks like
old.
Yep. And it's like, why Nordstrom? Or like it's a huge retailer. Everybody knows goes. Thinks that woman who is 55 years old, 65 years old should belong in this like a sad section, cannot go to a modern and wear literally what I wear today, because yes, you can. So I think this is just a question of, at some point we all will know, probably won't want to cover our shoulders. I am one of those person who's not going to show up with, with like a tank top somewhere important, unless it's super hot. But then even then I would put like linen blazer on.
Yeah.
We're not going to be showing up in some kind of very tight short skirt, because you're probably not going to feel comfortable in it.
Right.
So a lot of
That's true.
women,
It depends on your comfort and what you
yeah,
feel comfortable with.
I
Yeah.
think a lot of women know already, like, what are those rules specifically for them, like cleavage or anything like that, anything
Right.
super low. But you should open up your neckline because that works for so many women.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. When you were saying about Nordstrom, I was at Kohl's because, like I said, small town, we don't really have a lot of choices. It's pretty much Kohl's and I think Marshall's. But and I was running through there yesterday and I was wandering and I was like there's like the juniors, teens, and then they have like the whole like gym section, or workout clothes. And then next thing you know, I'm looking at some of these clothes and I'm like, these are like grandma clothes,
Yes.
with like, they just looked,
like
and I
tweed
thought, where
jackets.
is, the 40s, 50s, type clothes. And, but then you say that and it was kind of shoved in the back and they were all ugly. And I just thought, boy, that's, they needed more.
This is a problem. There's a lot of great brands who make those, like, I'll call this 40, 50, so our age clothes that we can still feel amazing. It's a good silhouette, some prints if we like, modern silhouettes. I think this is where a lot of women I see, it's that small little mistake, going for something that's a little bit too mature, like a tweed jackets, like Jackie O, but not everyone is going to look in this jacket. That's a very difficult sort of like a silhouette to pull off because it's just heavy. It's a little bit more dated.
Right.
So I think just making it a little bit modern is always better rather than picking like a classic silhouette. So even if you want to wear, nice silk blouse with like a pleated skirt, that's already so modern take on some of those silhouettes that 25-year-old can wear and 55 can wear. There's no fine line between. I always say, if you know your aesthetics, you know how to dress your body specifically for to flatter it, then it's a little bit easier to find those silhouettes going to be modern. So I just don't like putting rules, and those rules that I just mentioned, women already know. So it's like,
right. Yeah. Do you have an ideal client?
I work only with women, and I work with women because I feel like men are so easy to dress. They do still need help, and a lot of them are very confused. Women, I just work with women for so many years, and it's more challenging to work with women. I think it's so much easier to work with men. You just give them a couple buttoned up shirts, couple jeans, and we are good to go.
Easy peasy. Easy peasy.
Yes, easy peasy. I like to work with women who, most of my clients, all my clients, already established women, whether they are in corporate environment or they're entrepreneurs. So they feel very confident within their work. So I work with women who are in technology, they are in C-suite, from different environment when it comes to work. And all of them are like, I feel so confident in everything I do. Like, ask me, and I'm like so good at my work. I need my outer to show my inner. That's the thing. They are missing that part of their brand, I can say, which is their style, which is their aesthetics, and they want to feel like they go into the office, they whether do a they attending conference, maybe they have to do presentation, and they don't worry about their clothes. Because I do a presentation,
when you feel confident about that, then everything goes better. And I know that you'd said when you and I talked earlier, that sometimes you almost feel like a psychologist because you are dealing with their confidence level and their self-esteem, and all of that projects in their job, so Yeah, you must get a lot of that too. So, I could just see that being a huge part of your job, listening and helping them through that. And when I was saying like people who have gained weight and people who have lost weight, I've, gone up and down. I've lost weight recently. Would you have any recommendations for something like that?
First things first, we have to really look at your body because we always feel like when we gain weight, usually goes into our midsection. That's how we feel. Like over 40, you feel like you have maybe a couple kids, or maybe not, but you feel like it's just going to go to midsection. Oh, I'm sure
just goes right there.
I have this body shape now. I have to cover my midsection. Most of the time, that's what I hear. And like 99% of the time, that's not true. It does go into our midsection, it's just naturally, but usually our body shape usually stays the same. So whatever we were in 20s, obviously that was completely different. We look different. We had flat, we have a nice butt, we have more flat stomachs, but plus minus, yes, it will go in our midsection, but it doesn't mean that suddenly our body shape is changing. So for all those ladies who gain a little bit of weight, it's just a question of really knowing what your shape is. That's like, what is that, what your type is? Because I bet you when you were in your 20s and 30s, yes, it looked a little bit different and it changed, but it did not change in a very dramatic way that suddenly from gaining weight in your hips and butt, suddenly you're gaining weight in your breasts and your shoulders, because that's, your body is not going to be as dramatic and changing as much that it's completely changing. So why I say this, because a lot of times women might say, whatever I wore in 20s, 30s I cannot wear the same thing. Well, of course not, because you wore like
changed.
Your body changed in
Once
a way
you have
that
a child, it just does.
You wore probably spaghetti strip dresses. You were like, you wore a lot of silhouettes from Forever 21 or from one of those stores that have no shape, that you just put it on, everything looks good. Now in our 40s, 50s, we're
just looking for everything that's black.
No. We want to look at the clothes.
Hide it all. We just want to slim it out,
We want to look at the clothes that have more structure. Essentially more structure. So you look at the clothes that has
a little
maybe
more form-fitted.
Form-fitting. Maybe it's lined, some certain different silhouettes where we never wore or looked at, now we're going to be looking at. But that's because just what we wore 20 years ago was just fitting different. Doesn't mean that our body completely changes. It means that we want to just maybe camouflage certain areas and open up certain areas. And that's, I think, it's just looking at the clothes from different perspective, as looking at them as, I need more structure in my clothes, and I need accentuates waist. That always is a big thing. So when I look at the clothing, I want to look at the dress. I want to make sure that there's a built-in belt in the dress, or maybe the dress is a wrap dress that gives me that cinching in silhouettes, that maybe there's a peplum to cover a little bit of my midsection. When I buy jeans, they are straight leg, no skinny, because no one's going to look good. But the jeans, actually, it's more like it's not one of those flimsy with a lot of stretch. They're going to be a little bit more thicker. Just a little bit, like maybe 1-2% stretch. I know I'm getting into very big details now, but that's all important, because that's just going to fit us differently. It's just going to give us more shape. It's going to give us a little bit more structure.
Right. No, that makes sense. Okay. Another question I have is, what about styling for headshots, or like, say, for LinkedIn photos? Anything in particular? Any tips on that? I mean, any colors or styles? I mean, floral versus solid color for pictures, or, what do you recommend?
I think I would look at, first of all, industry, because what I see a lot of times on LinkedIn, I see a lot of women wearing like black suits and black suit and a white blouse for their headshots. And they are, talking about, I don't know, dog training. And I'm like, how is this going anything to do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to look at our essentially industry. If you know, you are executive in a bank industry or somewhere, then it's going to make more sense. But
right, it just depends on your industry, or
I think that depends on our industry. And I think solid colors is always a good idea. I think more of a...
You said yes to solid colors?
Yes, I think solid colors are better.
Okay.
A good quality. I think this is just a really good quality picture, so I can actually see more of your face rather than something that it's from far, because then you can't really see it. That's always a good idea. Any type of big prints is not a thing. So like any big prints, like all together, that's like one rule that I would tell everyone.
Do you ever wear big prints, or is that just
no?
No.
You see, I wear a print today, but it's very minimalistic.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's small.
Yeah.
But big prints will make you big. It's just essentially what it is. So don't wear big.
Nobody wants that.
No one wants that.
No one wants that.
Can you pull it off somebody? Yes, of course you can, but it's just like all together, like huge, like big polka dots, like with big polka dots. It's just not big, not good thing.
Yeah.
Usually on a headshot, so anything from like waist up, when you think about it, we don't have a lot of things to work with here. So blazer, anything structural on top will always give us more like a serious look, always, because it's more structure.
Right.
Anything that's, you know, this is just very serious. You can wear blouse, like just to open up, nice blouse, nothing too dated, maybe.
Yeah.
If you wear a blazer, maybe a color is going to be a good idea, like your colors, solid colors. And I think black and white, when I see a picture, black jacket, white shirt, I always think somebody works in a bank. Like I'm just like, it's just something that I think about.
Or for the airline or something.
Yes. But that's most of the time, it's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so
that makes sense.
Think about the industry first. Like, I mean, I have a lot of women from technology, and, you know, their industry is not very dressy at all. It's actually like jeans and t-shirts.
More casual, right?
More casual.
And that's an adjustment for people who have gone from more corporate dress to like now they're in tennis shoes and jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah.
But a lot of women don't want to show up to work like this. So they want to find that fine line between that, you know, navy suits. I always call them navy suits and gray dresses. How many times we can do this? All the way to like complete opposite, like jeans and t-shirts. I don't want to do it. What is this middle ground? What does it look like for me, that middle ground, that I can still look polished and professional and nice, but I don't wear those strict men's wear, because that's where it's coming from. Of course, we have to wear men to look professional. Who
in order to be perceived as competent and
ridiculous, right? And then like this jeans and t-shirt that everyone else is wearing, like I'm a leader already. I have a team. I need to look good. So what does it look like for me, especially for those women in that area, technology industry, where it's just so casual.
Yeah. We have a lot of clients actually that are in marketing and advertising, and they always dress so fun and bright. And I always think that would be a fun, industry to work in, but just because of the way they're dressed. For the average person like me, I mean, I live in a small town, but the nearest bigger store is a half hour away, which is fine. But what stores would you recommend if, let's say, if they didn't want to or online or department stores, would you recommend for good clothing, as far as, good silhouettes, good pieces? Do you have any favorites?
I do have plenty of favorites.
Ooh.
So we can look at this from two perspectives. One is just the brands that we might like and go to. And the other one is just the big retailers. And big retailers, usually it's a really good start. It can be very overwhelming. So I can give you like a couple things what to do, not to be overwhelmed. And why big retailers like Nordstrom, for example, and obviously online? It's because it's a big retailer. They are very picky and they are very specific on who they're going to, I would call sign or get as a brand into their store. So, their buyers is not going to be like, oh, just get anyone in so we can sell their clothes. No, they're going to be very specific. They're going to be looking at the brand, looking at the quality, checking out those clothes. So this is not something that they're just going to take anyone. So I would look at the big brands like Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's. There's a lot of things too. On a brand side, there are couples that I really like. There's a brand called Reese. It's R-I-E-S-S or R-I-E-S. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to spell it, but it's called Reese.
Okay.
That a lot of women will find a lot of pieces there because it's a great sort of like this middle ground between this like very strict and too casual. Like if they have nice blouses, a good pants. There's another brand called Cezanne from, and they have a lot of pieces under $200. And it's a really good fit, good quality, nicely made. A little bit on a boho, but they have really good blazers and a lot of like colorful suits. So if you want like a good, like a lime suit or something, maybe like red or something else in really nice, beautiful quality. That's another brand. There are a couple things. There's a brand called Frame. They have really nice blouses.
Frame?
Frame.
Okay.
They have good jeans. Some of it might be a little bit maybe fashion forward, but like I'm wearing their blouses. I wear their blouses all the time because they have like the best fit, nice quality, and it's not too like stiff. They have like it's a good mix and match.
Yeah.
There is another one, Everlane. Oh, that's a good one.
Everlane? Okay. And where's that? That's just online. You can Google
Everline.
it.
Yeah, I think they have a couple boutiques. Like they have one in Los Angeles. Everline is going to be more casual, more basics, but they have a lot of good pants. Again, that's brand for like, and you can get good pair of pants for like $100. So, and then when you buy something like $100, it's not like a lot very expensive. It's also not very cheap, but it's the idea is to get something that's going to last you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And you don't want to spend ridiculous amount of money. So there's not too many brands that actually carry stuff like this because a lot of brands is just going to be cutting corners, essentially. A lot of polyester, a lot of crap. So those are the brands that are not going to cut corners and you're going to get good quality pieces. Now, when it comes to like Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, this is what I would do. When you open and let's look for one piece. So we only shopping, let's say, for dresses. That's all. Do not look at pants, tops, underwear, none.
Okay.
It's just going to be crazy. I promise you. So you go to Bloomingdale's or Nordstrom, click on dresses. And on the left-hand side, you're going to get filtering system. It's there for a reason. Yes. So we're not looking for 10,000 dresses because you're just going to go crazy, right? 10,000 dresses. Now, we want to use this filtering system. So start with your size. If you're in between, get, let's say I'm small, sometimes I'm medium, get SM.
Yeah.
Then you want to do a price point. But they go to the toppest price point. I'm never going to spend more, let's say $300 on a dress, $200 on a dress, whatever your price point, top is. Don't look at anything over because then you're going to love it and you're not, you're not going to probably get it. So that top, then think about, I don't do the colors. Then I usually do either necklines or I do sleeve length. Sleeve length is easier because let's say you only going to be wearing short sleeve or maybe like 3/4 sleeves. So all the dresses with the long sleeves, you're most likely not going to wear. So
filter through it. Yeah.
Filter through it. Then the length you can do. Usually I do, because they're going to be, it's going to be maxi, it's going to be mini, it's going to be midi. So usually I do midi. I just pick midi. And me already from 10,000, I'm going to have maybe like 1,000 dresses to look at.
We're just filtering right down.
Filtering right down. And then I do not look at type because sometimes it's like bridesmaid, work, something. But idea of Nordstrom bridesmaids or work dress is completely different than your idea. because they're going to show you all those corporate dresses, black and white. They're not going to show you what you think, what works for you in terms of your work dress. So I don't specifically look, unless it's like only look for black dresses, let's say.
Right.
Then just pick black color and that's it.
Yeah.
And now you can start shopping. Now
Yeah.
it works. Now you can start browsing. Now, if you're not ready to buy, every store has this like a little heart.
Oh, right. Your favorites. Yeah.
Sign up. You're gonna have to sign up. We're not gonna let you to save it if you don't sign up, but it's free. So you have to have your account on Nordstrom, on Bloomingdale's. And then you basically can heart it. I call it heart it. Just save it to your favorites. So then you can always come back. And you're not ready, 3 days later, click on a dress. I'm not ready, 3 days later, maybe I'm ready yet, not yet.
Right.
The best thing about this is that Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, one of those big retailers, and Neiman Marcus, Saks Fifth, they take everything back. Their return
I was going to ask you that.
policy
What's their return
the
policy?
best.
Okay.
The best returning policy. Like back in the day when I was working for those big celebrities, I would go to Nordstrom and buy, I was doing big commercial, I would buy like 5 racks of clothes. Like I would pretty much buy most of the store, like so much, and I would return it all. No one would say anything. I could just return it. They take everything back.
That's awesome. It is important, especially if you're buying it online and you get it home and you're like, this does not look like how I thought it was going to look.
And one more thing, I hear from a lot of women who says like, yeah, but I order, there's all those boxes come in, I have to try, I have to send it back, But think about it, if you go to the store, you have to go for the racks, you are being confused, you're being overwhelmed, you try it on, somebody tells you look amazing. So it's actually more time spent doing this than actually ordering something online in the evening on Saturday with a cup of tea, having, kids in bed, you just browsing, no pressure, just having a fun time.
Yeah, that's when I do it, is at night. I'm just kind of
order it, it comes in, you try it on, it doesn't work, we'll send it back. It's so much less time than when you actually in a panic go to the store, you have to find something, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's true. And then you've wasted all that time, hours and driving, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So you have a style quiz you have on your website. Yeah. So I love that. And so do you use that? I kind of also wanted to pivot here into your program. So you have a program. What does that entail?
So I created this program because I have a lot of women who are coming to me who needed a customized support. So a lot of times you see out of courses or working with a stylist 101 who comes to you, does all your closet detox, and you're never going to see her ever again. And what I wanted to work with women who want to learn how they can do it, because it's a little bit more sustainable. Like you're not going to have a stylist in your closet every morning. What should I wear? Or put your outfits together. And when you go shop and you added something, and then you're still confused, what should I do with all those new clothes? And you have to call somebody in again. Right. I wanted to have women who can learn how to do it, but also have a stylist on demand. Like to have me in the corner.
I love that.
So the way I structured it is like we're doing live lessons for 8 weeks now. And we have a support calls every Thursday for 2 hours. That's where women come in. This is my favorite part, because we do.
Is it like a group thing?
Yes.
Ooh, I love that. So you get to hear. That's nice. Okay.
And everyone will have very similar questions. So with one lady is like trying on pants. What do you think about those pants? What should I wear it with? Show me on your closet. This and this. Wear with that blouse, wear with that tip. How is it working? Oh, it's because. And then I may give them all the rules, and everyone, I never thought I could wear this. So that support is, that customized support it was very, very important for my clients, but also for me to not to give them all this information and let them hang. So it's very important for implementation, and they have access to me for the calls for the full year.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And that.
So do they just use their phone and show you their closet and that type of thing? Is that how
we get on Zoom And then we whether they submit a question in advance, so then I can go through a question, and either we have to go through their closet, or maybe they order some clothes online and we do a quick fitting, so they just try the clothes on, and why does it work, why doesn't, maybe it's too big, maybe it's too small.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, I have a conference next week.
Yeah,
but then we also have a community, small community just for my clients, where you can actually submit questions or post questions or post pictures, and I'm there every day to answer. Oh, what colors do I have? What shape do I have?
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing. You know, that must be so helpful. I was just thinking of my closet as you were talking. Okay, so if somebody wants to join up, they go to your website.
That would be the easiest, to just take a quiz, and then in quiz, you get just on my mailing list, and all the updates are always the easiest way to get it from my mailing list. But I also send emails with all the tricks and tips. That's just not like a marketing tools, obviously.
Right.
So I'm just sending a lot of things that you can also learn and maybe implement yourself.
Well, this has just been amazing. I definitely would love to have you back. One thing that we always ask our guests is, what's something that no one in your industry or any of your followers know about you?
Oh my gosh. You surprise me now.
Well, I do know that you have a cat in the background, so I know that you're a cat mom, huh?
I'm from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
I already said I played violin. Oh my gosh, I don't know. You know what? Okay,
What?
I'm gonna tell you this story because so this is gonna be story. It's gonna also tell a little bit of teach. But I actually wasted probably $20,000-$30,000 worth of clothes that I never wore.
Wow.
And I tell you why. So that was back in the day when I was styling celebrities, and I always was shopping because I loved shopping and because I love all those clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this closet full of clothes, but actually nowhere to wear it. So I have all those beautiful pieces, and every day I was just running around with clothes. So I was in my jeans and my t-shirt. I need to feel comfortable in my sneakers. I have all those designers' clothes and my Prada loafers. And I'm like, and then I come home and I was like, I'm so exhausted. I just don't want to go anywhere. And then so for many years, I have all those clothes, and I really rarely wore them. So this is sort of like a lesson that I actually starting to implement a couple years ago. Always shop for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you can actually wear the clothes.
I love that. Wow. What a lesson to learn.
I
was going to say, so do you have like a lot of pieces left over that you keep just because you loved them, even though technically you might not wear them anywhere?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a pair of like my I remember that back in the day, one of my biggest jobs when I started, I was working for Giovanna Battaglia. She is a stylist. She's an editor for L'Homme Vogue, which is the Italian men's Vogue. And then she used to be a Vogue editor for Japan.
Oh.
And she is now working as I think one of the top designers for Swarovski. And I was assisting her on a job for Lacoste, that Lacoste brand that we make the polo shirts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was like, mind you, 15 years ago. And I remember she was always showing up on set. I was dying. I was just so amazing. And then every day she was wearing those like almost like a Christmas tree sandals from Prada. And then they were just the flat sandals, almost like a Birkenstock looked, but like the Prada version, like nicer.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like the green kind of like some kind of, I don't know how you call it, attached to the top, like some kind of like a fun elements. And when you walk, they were just like all like moving up and down. And I remember I was looking at those sandals. I'm like, I'm dying. I remember I was walked into Prada in Beverly Hills. I saw those sandals for like $400 15 years ago, and I still have them until today. Like I wear them and people are just like, what the hell is going on? This ladies like, I
but they
don't
bring
care.
you joy. They bring you
They bring me
joy.
so much happiness. So that's the one thing I have from the years ago. They've been to a shoe, the shoe repair store many times because I mean, it's been 15 years, but they still serve
still
me.
Wonderful. Yeah.
There are some pieces that you should keep.
Yeah,
I always tell my
agree.
clients. Yeah.
It's memories attached to it, and I do agree with that. Well, again, this has been great. So if people want to get in touch with you or if they want to follow you.
So I'm actually on LinkedIn every day.
Basia Richard.
Yep, that's
LinkedIn.
it.
Okay.
Yep. Or you can just go dress4, like the letter 4, impact.com.
Dress4impact.com. Okay.
Yes, but the letter 4.
Style quiz.
Style quiz. And yeah, that's the easiest way.
Well, this has been very enlightening and wonderful, and I'm glad we got a chance to talk, and I would love to have you back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Next time we can talk about colors and all kinds of good stuff.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. And
of course,
thank
you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks again for listening to the Office Latte podcast. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcast. You can follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Executive Resumes, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Office Latte Podcast. If you have any career questions or conversations you want us to talk about, send them to officelattepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll answer them in an upcoming show. Have a great week and stay caffeinated.